Hello everyone, my name is Ted Arod. I've lived in Alaska for the past 15 years. I'm 49 years old and I've been married to my high school sweetheart Nancy for the past 26 years. I currently work as a clinical nurse educator at Providence Medical Center in Anchorage. I've worked primarily as an intensive care nurse for the past 20 years, having received my initial nursing training in the U.S. Army. My wife, who is also a nurse, and I worked as travel nurses for several years before settling in Alaska. Traveling took us to many locales throughout the western U.S., including Alaska. We recently moved my mother and brother to Alaska. Here they are in front of our home. We live near Knik, Alaska. We have one child, our 18-year-old cat, Sasha. We recently lost our other child, our beloved Mew. We love to make things like beer. We love gardening, hiking, skiing, kayaking, fishing, birdwatching, and just being outdoors and enjoying Alaska. We recently acquired a camper referred to by my wife as the Ted Mahal. I took this course because I needed an anthropology course to fulfill my requirements for my bachelor's degree in nursing. Although I've been a registered nurse for 20 years, I never completed my degree. I've always enjoyed learning history and the culture of the peoples of our world. When we first came to Alaska, we were drawn to the Alaska Native cultures. My wife and I had the opportunity to live in Juneau, as well as South Central, and we both love learning about Alaskan Native cultures. We've been lucky enough to travel to several areas of Alaska and Canada, and we've always felt compelled to learn about the rich heritage and Native traditions. As I chose this class, also because I wanted to heighten my knowledge of Alaskan Native cultures, and I'd like to be able to incorporate them into my nursing so that I can continue my journey for cultural competence in caring for Alaskan Native patients. What role, if any, should anthropology play in the native cultures of Alaska? I don't know a lot about the science of anthropology. However, I am privy to the stereotype of anthropologist. Borrowing from the Clifford article, I am referring to the anthropologist who has historically been arrogant, intrusive, and authoritative, and who assumes the right based on assumptions and a free scientific access. Do we have the right? Again, borrowing from the Clifford article, gone are the days when cultural anthropologists could, without contradiction, present the native point of view. When archaeologists and physical anthropologists excavated tribal remains without local permission, profiting off another's culture. When linguists collected data on indigenous languages without feeling pressure to return the results in accessible form. Clifford's article shines light on the fact that there has been a long history of ambivalence between anthropologists and local communities of natives. This has led to scholarly outsiders finding themselves barred from access to research sites, met with new or newly public suspicions. Fortunately, Clifford also informs us that this uncertainty is being undone and rewoven, and even the most severe indigenous critics of anthropology recognize the potential for alliances when they're based on shared resources, repositioned indigenous and academic authorities, and relations of genuine respect. Clifford's essay focused on enhancing collaborative work. Coalitions between native and non-native scholars is paramount, and as well as involving the entire community. As Clifford points out, the key is that native people must control the research effort. Otherwise, it's just another ripoff, with scientists coming in and taking instead of sharing. Clifford also brings attention to the tense historical perspective by cautioning, while these coalitions do not transcend long-standing inequalities or resolve struggles for cultural authority, they at least demonstrate that natives and anthropologists openly recognizing a fraught common history need not paint themselves into corners. Clifford points to the example of the Alaskan Native Heritage Center in Anchorage. I think Clifford illustrated how important archaeology, when done right, is for both native and non-native peoples when he discussed the native youth and elders' involvement in an excavation in the village of Karluk. When local people were deeply moved by the confronting carved wooden masks, stone tools, and spruce root baskets from their ancestral past. One woman's face reflected both confusion and sadness. Finally speaking, she said, I guess we really are natives after all. I was always told that we were Russians. Many artifacts that have been stolen are now being returned, such as this French collection of Kodiak Island Aluptic masks, which are on loan to the Aluptic Museum in Kodiak, and which have been displayed in Anchorage at the Heritage Center. When artifacts such as these masks are returned, they reveal the importance of anthropology, allowing cultures to look at, study, and connect with the cultures of the past. When it's your culture you are connecting with, it can be even more gratifying experience. Here are two items that were bought by the Annenberg Foundation and returned to their respective tribes. This was after Tribal Council tried to stop the auction. Among the items were a Chilkat box frame and a Chugach mask. These are not just material objects, said Rosita Worrell, president of the Sea Alaska Heritage Institute. They are associated with our ancestors, and their return is like an ancestor is coming back home. The Chilkat box piece is believed to have been made in the early to mid-1800s, a time which Worrell said Alaskan Native artifacts were heavily and illegally collected. She said it could have been taken from a grave. Often the box would have been left at a shaman's grave until the spirit came. When connections and collaborations occur with the native participation, the rewards can be everlasting for both sides. Anthropology, when done right, can assist in never allowing a culture to become extinct. Culture can be transcended.